Hi everyone, another trippy filter. I wanted to share with you guys this biography about a very cool nun in the Vajrayana tradition. I found this in Tulku Thondup's book called Masters of Meditation and Miracles, Lives of the Great Buddhist Masters of India and Tibet, published by Shambhala in 1999. Unfortunately, Tulku Thondup is no longer with us. He passed on last year. I recently learned about this. I'm going to switch the filter because I want people to see. He has published so many works on his lineage, and I'm so grateful for that, because another news about the Vajrayana school of Buddhism that you guys may or may not know who follow Rubin Museum on social media, they are becoming a virtual global museum in October. They are closing the New York museum site, and perhaps it'll be loaning works. We're not really sure. They didn't really explain that much, but they are having an exhibition at Harn Museum in Florida. Right now, it's already on the Himalayan Arts in Florida. It is 9 hours from where I am, so I'm probably not going to visit this time, but I really look forward to another in-person encounter with Himalayan artworks, other than the ones I have personally, obviously. So, the biography today we are exploring is about the eminent Shuksep Lochen Chuni Zangmo, born in 1865 and passed on in 1953. I found her biography really interesting because she was born in India by Tibetan and Bhutanese parents. So she was of mixed heritage. And I did not know that Tibetans lived in Himachal Pradesh, Rewalser, prior to exile, in the 1950s and 60s. And we have a picture of her as well. Jetsun Lochen Choni Zangmo of Shuksep Nunnery was one of the foremost lady teachers of the last many centuries of Tibetan Buddhism. She was born on the 15th of the first month of the wood ox year of the 14th Rapchung, 1865, near Rewalser, Himachal Pradesh, India. When she was born, the earth shook mildly. The sound of Om Mani Padme Hum was heard from the air, and a rain of flowers was seen. Also, in the same hour, the family servant bore a girl, and the family's lamb gave birth. Her father was Thondrup Namgyal, so her father had the similar name as the author. Thondrup Namgyal, alias Thonglek Jashi from Tibet, and her mother was Pempa Droma from Bhutan. Her parents met while they were each on a pilgrimage and were staying in India. Although her parents came from prosperous families, they went to India leading the simple life of pilgrims who sustained themselves with alms. Her parents separated soon after her birth, and she grew up with her mother amid material poverty but spiritual wealth. From childhood, Jetsun was very respectful to her mother and the elders, harmonious with friends, devout in Dharma, kind to all beings, accompanied by miracles, and richly gifted with wisdom. In Tibet, there were a number of people who died, went through the Bardo experiences, meaning the intermediate stage, saw different worlds of beings and or pure lands of the Buddhas, and then, after many days, returned to their bodies. Thereafter, they lived healthy lives and told the stories of their experiences for years. They were called Deloks, returners from the dead. Jetsun read the Delok stories of Karma Wangzin and Nangza Obum. By reading them a couple of times, she memorized every word and its meaning. One night in a dream, Jetsun saw a Delok woman singing Om Mani Padme Hum in various enchanting melodies. Om Mani Padme Hum. Jetsun sang along with her and proved to sing as well as the other woman. After waking, she still remembered the melodies and sang them to the amazement of her companions. With her mother, she traveled to gathering places such as markets and fairs, where the gifted young lady would display her paintings of the stories of Deluxe, tell their stories, and sing Om Mani Padme Hum in her enchanting voice in various melodies from morning till evening. Everywhere she went, she attracted crowds, and those who listened to her were inspired to belief in karma and devotion to Dharma. Many would cry, remembering their own misdeeds. Many forswore doing any more evil deeds. Many committed their lives to Dharma training, and many also made generous offerings. At the age of 13, as advised by a nun from Amdo is a region in Greater Tibet / Qinghai in China, named Lobzang Droma Jetsun and her mother. A nun from Amdo, Jetsun and her mother. So the main character is referred to as Jetsun. I think it's like a respectable honorific. The three women went to Okarchak near Kirong to see the nun's uncle, Pema Gyatso, who was born in 1829 and possibly died in 1890. A master from Amdo. Pema Gyatso turned out to be one of Jetsun's karmic lamas. He was a disciple of both Japkar Sokchuk Rangchol and Tatral Dorje. Tatral Dorje was a direct disciple of the first Dodrupchen. He introduced it earlier. We might cover it in a future episode. It's from this book. It's a nice book, published in 1999. From Pema Gyatso, she received the teachings on Kunzang Lame Jalong and empowerments of Longchen Ningtik. It's the meditation technique named after Longchen Pa and is known in the Nyingma tradition. In this meditation technique, the Lama gave her all the teachings but treated her strictly, as Marpa had treated Milarepa. She also received teachings from Jinpa Norbu and Nangze Dorje, disciples of Japkar. At Hari Hermitage in the Nupri area, she did a 3-year retreat in the caves and completed her Nongzhou training preliminaries and recitations of the complete Longchen Ningtik cycle. In this retreat, she realized the true nature and sang her realization to her teacher. Quote, "The meaning is beyond comprehension of the mind. The clarity of the natural glow is unceasing. It is resonating but beyond the utterances of speech. It is clear but beyond description in words. Because of the ease in my mind, I gained natural confidence in it. The experiences of bliss, clarity, and freedom from concepts are joyful. All the fabrication of inviting future experiences or running after past experiences has dissolved. Not just once, but again and again I am experiencing it. I felt laughter as it naturally arose in me. I gained confidence that there is nothing to seek from somewhere else." With Pema Gyatso, she went to Lhasa and they received teachings together from Dharma Sengye. In 1890, Pema Gyatso died, and after a month, Dharma Sengye also passed away. Dharma Sengye told his disciples to give his hand drum, bell, and trumpet for Cho rites to Jetsun, but she was only given the trumpet. So I drew one of the drums when I made a portrait of one of the Rinpoches who passed on in America. It's called a damru in South Asia. She also received teachings from Trujik Kunsang Tongtrol of Dongakling, Tertong Rangrik Dorje, a disciple of Nyosho Longtok of Nya Krong, the 5th Dzogchen Rinpoche, and Lama Sangye Tenzin, a disciple of Palchu Rinpoche. She received Longchen Ningtik and other transmissions from Matrul Tekchok Jigme Pawo, a disciple of Khyentse Wangpo, and Rinchen Terzo from Jetchen Rabjan. Every day, without exception, she was constantly in Dharma meditation and Dharma activities. At Zangri Karmar, she received the transmission of the Tapak Yijin Norbu from Tekchok Tenpe Gyaltsen, the Tulku of Japkar, and was given the name Rikzen Chonyi Zangmo. Tapak Yijin Norbu was the main teaching and practice of Chogyal Nyaki Wangpo and Japkar Tsoktruk Rangcho. She meditated on this teaching in retreat and experienced many events. They included solid things becoming ethereal things becoming solid, and all kinds of forms and images appearing before her. In addition, wherever her concentration went, she could reach there. She was able to speak in the languages of various realms. She saw the happenings of the world as if she were looking at the lines on her palm. Her body was filled with heat. Her mind was filled with bliss. She could hardly stop singing or dancing. Her mind never was separated from contemplative absorption, and her intrinsic awareness remained in the oneness, where there is no distinction of center or extremes. One day she wished to see the Karmapa Kakyab Dorje, born 1871, passed on 1922, in Tsurphu, and she instantly found herself before him and received blessings. Neither the attendants of Karmapa nor her own companions were aware of her visit to Karmapa's place or her absence from her retreat hut. So I think they're suggesting she teleported to Tsurphu in this paragraph. They just don't use the verb. Then at Zangri Karmar, she herself experienced Delok, returning from death. So when she was young, she was just narrating it, and then finally she herself achieved that. One day she fell down on the ground, her body became cold, and her breathing ceased. First, her mother and friends thought that she had died, but then her mother saw that her face was the face of a living person, not a dead one. They checked her heart, and there was warmth in it, the amount of warmth in a bird's body. That confirmed her mother's belief. During her death experience, which lasted 3 weeks, she went to Zangdok Palri, the pure land of Guru Rinpoche, and received blessings and prophecies from Guru Rinpoche. She also experienced the hard travel through the Bardo process, facing the Lord of Death, and saw the sufferings of beings in various realms. Lord of Death. From Semni Deyang Rinpoche, she received the complete empowerment and textual transmissions of Longchen Ningtik twice, and also teachings on Yongten Rinpoche Tso. Not quite sure what that is. There are not many footnotes in this book, so it makes for a smooth read if you just disregard the things you don't know. She practiced the teachings in retreats, including a 3-year recitation retreat on Longchen Ningtik. In accordance with Taklung Ma Rinpoche's divinations, Jetsun and her mother made their permanent residence at Shuksep, where their teacher Semni Rinpoche was also living. Then her mother, who was 99 years old and had said Om Ami Deva Hri, the mantra of Amitabha Buddha, billions of times facing the west, the direction of the pure land of Amitabha Buddha, said, quote, "In this life, in the next life, and in the intermediate life, in my mind, may there arise revulsion from samsara, extraordinary attitude of love for all, and pure perception. May I perfect the attainment of the 3 sacreds, and may I become one with the Guru Amitabha." And she died. Later in her life, Jetsun lived at Shuksep Nunnery near Kangri Tokar, the main hermitage seat of Longchen Rabjam. She taught numerous people, and especially nuns and lay women of the nobility of central Tibet, as well as ordinary people for many years. She also received transmissions from Katok Situ Choki Gyatso, Gyaro Namchul Drodul Karki Dorje, Kyungchul Rinpoche, Dzogchen Kempo Choso, and Lingtang Gyalpo, advising her disciple, Nordzen Wangmo. Jitsun writes, quote, realization of the nature of one's own mind by oneself is called intrinsic awareness. By purifying the confused ignorance into its primordial purity, spontaneously accomplishing the self-arisen three Buddha bodies, and perfecting all the virtues, you will reach the dissolution of phenomena in the ultimate nature. The meaning that transcends mental concepts is the view. Remaining in that view without distraction by circumstances is meditation. To release all, whatever you do, is the Dharma action. To ripen the fruition of the practice is result. By starting your meditation with pure attitude at the beginning, maintaining the intrinsic awareness as the main practice in the middle, and dedicating them with the wisdom of freedom from concepts at the end, may you perfect the three sacred aspects of meditation and attain liberation. Her autobiography ends in the Earth Ox year in 1949 or 50, depending on when the Earth Ox year ended. The rabbit year just ended, so happy Losar to all those celebrating, and happy Chunjie to all others who are celebrating it in a different way. At the age of 89, at the end of the Water Dragon year of the 16th Rapjang, 1953, she passed away at Kangri Tokar. Jetsum Pemala, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Sonam Kazi of Sikkim, India, and Dorje Rapton, a son of Charing House of Lhasa, have been recognized as the Tulkus of Jetsun Lodchen. And they were respectively born in 1955 and 1954. And that ends the short biography written by Tulku Tondu. And I dedicate the merit of this recording to all sentient beings. Thanks for listening, and please support the publication if you can.